In this video, we're going to continue our list of Dungeon Master tips that are going to help take your game to the next level. Hey, Luckhart here. On this channel, I create weekly D&D videos with information and resources designed to help Dungeon Masters run awesome games. So if you're looking to level up your D&D game, roll a crit on that subscribe button down below. In this video series, we have been talking about a whole bunch of Dungeon Master tips that the awesome folks over on Reddit helped me compile. And by help me compile, I really mean that I asked a simple question and they gave me a whole crap ton of awesome information. Now we are on part 4, but if you want to watch this entire series from the beginning, something that I definitely recommend, then I will put a link up in this card to the first video in the series. Anyway, let's rock and roll. Number 31, consider the advantages of using a pre-made adventure. Now I love homebrewing adventures, and I have been doing so since high school, but I think that there are a couple situations in which it might be better to use pre-made modules. The first case is if you are a newish DM and you're still just kind of learning the ropes, then using a pre-made module will help you to see how an adventure is even put together. Second of all, even if you're a veteran Dungeon Master, there's probably still some things that you can learn by reading, if not running, a pre-made module. I know that for me personally, despite all of the experience that I have Dungeon Mastering, I still feel that reading these modules helps me to learn a lot about the game. Finally, it usually, well at least that's the hope, takes less time to prepare a pre-made module and run it at your table than it does to create your own adventure. So, if you are pressed for time, then a pre-made module might be the way to go. Number 32, just because you're running a pre-made module doesn't mean you don't need to prepare. Now I know that lots of people recommend that you read the entire module through before you run it. Some even recommend that you read it through twice. However, I am not going to do that. First, because I don't read the whole thing through before running it, and second, I know that for me personally, I wouldn't remember half of it even if I did read it all the way through. But you do need to prepare. At least read through and be very familiar with the adventure that the PCs are going to play through next. Pay particular attention to the encounters and combats. Lots of modules that I have seen simply throw monsters in a room and give you zero ideas for how that encounter might play out. So if you don't think things through and spice things up a little bit, your combats might suffer. Hey, real quick, let me know down in the comments what you think about using pre-made modules. Do you find that they are useful for your games or just really a pain? Number 32, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. It is easy to overthink a game and make it much more complicated than it needs to be. Keep it as simple as possible, even if it seems too easy. I think that new DMs should probably kind of forget about running these grand epic campaigns right off the bat. Instead, narrow the scope of your campaign and setting down to what you can easily remember. The less fumbling with computer screens or papers, the more confident you're going to feel running your game. And the more confident you feel, the more comfortable you are ad-libbing your game sessions, and that reduces your workload even more. So those epic grand campaigns, they will arise naturally once you're able to run things more smoothly and confidently. Number 34, don't be afraid to fail. Because let's face it, it will happen. You will prep your butt off, you will be knee-deep in running a game session, and you will get that sinking feeling in your gut that game session just really sucks. Every Dungeon Master has bad game sessions. Every single one. And in my opinion, any DM who says otherwise is lying his butt off to boost his own fragile ego. So when failure happens, embrace it and learn from it. If failures ultimately make you better, then you've just turned them into successes. Number 35, make NPCs memorable. Now, not every NPC needs to stand out. However, sprinkle your world with ones that do. Don't just give them names, give them personalities, goals, ambitions, flaws, secrets, all that good stuff. And remember, monsters and enemies are NPCs too. Why couldn't the PCs run into a miserable band of goblins who are on the verge of starvation because those horrible orcs stole their homes and all of their food? The chances are that sort of encounter is going to be much more memorable for your players than simply having a bunch of goblins jump out of the forest and attack them. And number 36, speaking of making memorable PCs, silly voices work.
They actually do. Now, I'm not going to go into this a whole lot because I already made a video about role-playing NPCs, including doing silly voices. I will put a link to it up in the card here if you're interested in checking it out.
And that was actually me doing a silly voice, just in case you didn't catch that. By the way, if you are getting value out of these videos and you'd like to help support the channel, please check out my Patreon page. Besides just supporting the channel, my patrons get lots of cool perks. Link in the description. That's the wrong way. The description is down. It's down. Number 37. Enemies aren't idiots. I mean, unless they are. Treat your enemies as NPCs. No one wants to get into a potentially deadly confrontation unless they think they have a chance of winning. Enemies should surrender, run, or make peace when they think they're at a disadvantage and most likely about to die. Giving your enemies names and personalities makes it easier to roleplay surrenders, desperate moves, and other interesting things for your battles. Number 38. Read and study up. Read. It doesn't matter what you read so much as you are reading. For instance, a good knowledge of history can help you to steal events and personalities, reskin them, and put them in your game. A good knowledge of political systems can help you create interesting locations and communities. A good knowledge of the theory behind martial arts, for instance, can help you better describe your combats. A good knowledge of historical tactics can help you bring warfare to life. Read about improv acting or comedy if you're running a story-heavy game. Number 39. Steal ideas. I mean, let's be honest here. Stealing ideas is a tried and true tradition in Dungeons & Dragons. Steal from movies, from books, from your neighbor's garage, whatever. Now, obscure ideas are probably better, but common ones will do as well. Just try to put your own twist on them. And if you want to look like a real genius, steal from sources that your players probably don't know about. Old gaming modules, books, comics, maybe some old-time radio. Number 40. Don't be afraid to regroup when needed. When your players do something unexpected, feel free to call for a drink break or a quick pause while you figure things out. I mean, I remember one time that I was running a game and my players went somewhere totally unexpected and I just admitted it. And I said, hey guys, I need to take a break real quick so I can figure things out and look some things up. Now, I avoid doing this as much as possible because I like to give the illusion that I have everything planned and that I know everything. But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and button and share it with someone who might find it helpful. And until next time, let's play D&D.